Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we're talking Lakers Hornets in Charlotte tonight, 4 o'clock Pacific. One of the earlier games you'll see in the week schedule, and I mean by the as in days of the week, not necessarily week schedules, and it's not very strong. But this is a weak game if you consider it not very strong. The Charlotte Hornets have lost 7 games in a row. They're coming off a back-to-back last night against the Pacers, where they got smacked around. And of course, everybody who was on the injured list for last night's game is a game time decision for tonight. Those who didn't play last night: Mark Williams, Gordon Hayward, LaMelo Ball. LaMelo ain't played in like 3 weeks, but guess who is a game time decision tonight? I'm so sick of y'all, man. I'm sick of every last one of y'all who do this bull crap, man. That's why I gave some credit to OG Anunoby for not pulling that garbage. Hopefully Melo will have some dignity about himself and come back in the next game instead of coming back against us like every other player in this league. Mark Williams, Gordon Hayward, the same. Y'all wasn't healthy enough to play last night, but y'all want to suit up for us, huh? Got it. Anyway, so that's how I'm starting this video, man. I had downloading issues, of course, during the next day. I didn't get a chance to get all my videos up on time, but I think that issue is over with. Last night I uploaded a video and it came around in normal timing, so we'll see what happens with this one. But yeah, man, we're coming off that Knicks game. Did pretty good in that one, to say the least, even though I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't get a chance to see as much of it as I normally would because I was just so busy doing all kinds of other stuff. It wasn't that I was disinterested at all. It just the timing just didn't align with what it was I was doing, and I just couldn't watch it as much as I'd like to. But I did get a gist of it. I had it on. I just wasn't able to pay as much attention to the screen. But nevertheless, we did great from what I understand. The Lakers, even though, their star with the Knicks, Brunson walked away with 36 points and double-digit assists. A lot of those points came in garbage time, and we really did a good job double-teaming him and ultimately making up for Vanderbilt not being down there. So we're very pleased with our team and how we approached that game. And, we're continuing to find something out of Jackson Hayes, which has been an anomaly over the last 5 games or so. We've been calling his number, and he's been staying out of foul trouble, contributing quite a bit. He was perfect from the field, as I told you guys. He tends to do, when you feed him the ball, that's really what his superpower is, so to speak. He can finish around the rim as good as anybody. We just haven't really spammed that and utilized that. But I think if we really intentionally look to go to him, we can get consistent scoring in the paint. He's athletic, and he's starting to, come around defensively as well. That's really helping us. So he's just been a highlight of the week, man. This road trip would not have gone as well if he didn't find his game on this road trip. So we are 3-2 right now, having lost the games to the Rockets and the Hawks, but of course beat the teams that we really were expecting to probably have struggles with. The Golden State Warriors in double overtime, the Boston Celtics, of course, without Bron and AD, and now the next game that just passed. So we're excited about how this road trip went, all things considered. It's been a good one. It's been in fact, probably one of the better ones we've had, considering who we beat and how. And so we finishing up the road trip tonight with the Charlotte Hornets. And we just want to see us finish strong. Of course, if you follow the Lakers close enough, you would probably expect them to lose tonight, because this is just how our DNA is. Show up for the big games, ignore the small ones, and it don't get much smaller than this. The Hornets' defensive rating is 30th, last in the league. Their overall net rating is 30th, last in the league. Yes, worse than Detroit. This team is terrible. Problem is, they do have some players playing well right now that we need to be aware of. One of them being Brandon Miller, second overall pick, is living up to that value right now. He had 32 points, I believe, in the last one, 28 in the game before that. He's been fantastic in my fantasy team over the last 4 games. He's basically been an all-star fantasy-wise. He really has. He's vaulting up the rookie rankings. He's probably the second best or third best rookie in the league right now. And we'll see where it ends, because it's a lot of talented guys playing right now. But he's vaulting. I'm telling y'all, if anybody you need to be aware of tonight that is likely going to look to have a big game, is him. Especially since Melo is coming off an injury, in and out of the lineup with the ankle. He tried coming back about a couple weeks ago and didn't stay on the floor for longer than 2 games before going back out. And tonight will likely try to reappear against the Lakers. But Melo ain't healthy. PJ Washington's playing pretty well. He's had a pretty good week as well for my fantasy teams that I've had him on. Not too many, but I have him on like 2 or 3 teams. And he had a game where he went for 43 points, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 games ago. Of course, in a loss, but nevertheless, he's done well, man. So we'll pay attention to him, PJ Washington, and of course Miles Bridges, who's so much more talented than people are giving him credit for because of his off the court issues and the fact that he's in Charlotte. But he really is one of the better two-way players out there. He really is. You can count on him defensively, you can count on him offensively. He's one of the best athletes in the world, jumping off the floor and dunking the ball and stuff like that. So Miles Bridges is also a player that you have to take seriously. If I were the Charlotte Hornets, I would really shave most of the rest of that stuff off of my roster and just try to go forward with those 3, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, and LaMelo Ball. They really do have a trio. And of course, PJ Washington, who I have to throw in there as well. They really do have a set of players there that are really solid. It's just the rest of the stuff that they use, it just doesn't come together to make any kind of success for them. So, they got a guy by the name of Bryce McGowan's in their starting lineup. I'm going to keep an eye open for him. I'm not really sure if they got it right starting him as much as they do. He did have 4 steals a couple games ago, but usually his plus minus is negative. And my conversation in regards to this Charlotte team is that they don't tend to use some of their young guards that are of higher caliber as much as they should. Book Knight, Nick Smith. They don't use these guys. They use Ish Smith. They use Cody Martin. You know what I mean? These are the guys that are on the team that I would probably send to China. So I don't really like the Charlotte Hornets and how they use their team. If you follow me, and the last time we played the Hornets, I said the same thing. I just don't agree with none of the roster decisions that they use. It's like a bunch of Torian Prince stuff going on down there. And so we should be able to take advantage of it. They're forever tanking. They're never actually not tanking. And that's a shame because it's time to pivot. They have 2 young stars on their team in Miller and LaMelo, and they just, to me, it seems like they don't understand what the hell to do to pivot away from being a losing team. They need to make some trades, trade some picks, and get those guys another running mate and stop looking for success in the draft because sometimes the draft works for them, sometimes it doesn't. They got a guy by the name of Mark Williams. I think he's hurt, but I didn't see him on the injury report, but I also haven't seen him I haven't seen him in any of these in the box scores, any of these games. So it's like I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe he's coming back tonight too as a game time decision. So if Big Mark is down there, he's also another player you have to take extremely seriously. He's really good. He's a lottery pick from 3 years ago, and he's just had some injury issues, but he's definitely somebody you need to respect around the rim as a rim protector and a lob threat at all times. Nick Richards is another center down there that the Lakers have been rumored to be interested in. He's pretty good. He's a nice role player for them as well. I expect for him to try to play well against us, given the fact that his names are in rumors against us. Kyle Lowry. I don't know if they've waived Kyle Lowry. I didn't see him on the injury report, and I didn't see him on any of the box scores. So I don't know if he's just sitting at home waiting to be waived to get into the buyout market. I really don't know. But I would not be at all surprised to see him in the game tonight. Would not be surprised because it's the Lakers, and this is a team that he's likely going to want to go to. Gordon Hayward's going to try to play well. So you're going to get a much healthier Charlotte team tonight than the Pacers and the Rockets and God knows the Raptors, whoever else they've played as well. All those teams saw a Charlotte team that wasn't fully healthy. And tonight we're getting game time decisions on everybody they got that is hurt. So I'd expect the Lakers to understand that doing homework on the Charlotte Hornets as it pertains to the 7-game losing streak doesn't really tell the story of what they're going to try to put on the floor against you. Now, of course, we know they did trade away to the Miami Heat Terry Rozier. So, of course, we ain't got to worry about him tonight. And that does leave room for more of Bryce McGowan's, LaMelo Ball, Cody Martin, and their other guards that they want to use. Nick Smith, Book Knight probably won't get used as much, and that's just what I expect. But, at the end of the day, it's going to be the Bridges, Miller, Ball show, PJ show. You're going to see those guys play well, so we need to be aware of that. Leaky Black is on this team. He plays defense. Funny name, but he can really go. So we need to be aware of his upside, especially as it pertains to tracking people around. Gordon Hayward is such a talented guy. I don't know how much he has to give this game right now, given the fact he's fresh off injury, just as usual. But if he goes off, it won't be me surprised about it. So their bench unit should overall be better. When Miller sits down, they should have a better unit against us than they did against the Pacers and any of these other teams they've lost to. And given the fact they have lost 7 in a row, they probably are due to turn that around at some point. So we don't want it to be against us tonight at home. They should be a little tired. I believe that Pacer game was in their house, so I don't think they had to fly back or anything like that. It's close. It's close anyway, Indy and Charlotte. But nevertheless, they did play last night, so we should try to, if anything, take advantage of their fatigue, weighing it against our very own, given the fact this is the tail end of a Grammy road trip. So, yeah, man, Charlotte Hornets, Los Angeles Lakers. I'm optimistic the Lakers will play well. They have been held to task for being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde-like basketball team. That's what LeBron called us. And we should be conscious of that in a way that makes it so that we walk into this particular game and immediately try to bring forth a different effort. If for no other reason, because it's on our minds that we have been this way. That Houston game was embarrassing. The Atlanta game was absolutely embarrassing. And it's slapped between some of the best wins we've had all season. So, it's a real DNA thing for us to be some-timey, so to speak. And I think the Lakers are tired of that identity about themselves. Austin Reeves has found his game, his three-point shot specifically, on this road trip. Of course, we already said Jackson Hayes. In the last game, Max Christie was a big contributor. What happened? Had a 4-point play, one of the best plus minuses, if not the best plus minus of his career, in Madison Square Garden on the road. So Max Christie's coming in with a certain level of confidence, and hopefully the coach will reward him with more minutes. We took Torian out of the starting lineup, for which I wasn't aware of because, of course, I missed the beginning of the Knicks game. But we had removed him and put Rui in the starting lineup, and we saw a lot of success there. Torian, hopefully we can keep him in that role off the bench and ask him to do things that more so help himself be his best rather than asking him to be the best on the basketball floor. We did put him in front of Jalen Brunson a few times, put him in front of Trae Young a few times on this road trip. We had him in front of some of the best players there is, and he always finds himself in struggling circumstances because of it. So hopefully our coach is finally coming around and listening to all of us tell him to, bench Prince and put him in a role that better suits him. And hopefully this is the beginning of something good for not only him, but for Rui Hachimura, who's finally in the starting lineup. Hopefully consistently getting the minutes that ultimately are going to be coming from Vanderbilt's absence, for which we know now is going to miss likely the next 2 months and probably the rest of the season. So we'll have to make up for that. Hopefully we can do something in trade. It's very, very noteworthy that this is the last basketball game before the trade deadline, meaning that a lot of guys on this team that you're going to see tonight will be there. It could potentially be their last night as Lakers. And I don't think anybody outside of AD is a lock to be a Laker after this situation. I really don't think anybody is. Even Bron, especially Bron, given the fact of what we've been talking about and what the words are. I don't know that the Lakers are going to trade him to the Knicks or trade him anywhere over the next 2 days. If I'm a betting man, I would probably put my money on no. But it's still up in the air, man. You never know what the Lakers are going to do. It does look like he has a very good reason to opt out at the end of the season. And unless there's a wink-wink deal for him not to do so, I still think the best option for the Lakers is to move him rather than putting ourselves in a position to lose him for nothing. But, if they do what I say, this is his last game as a Laker. So the people need to be aware of the possibility of such things. D'Lo, absolute same thing. And even though they said they're not trading certain players on this roster, I just don't think anybody's safe outside of Anthony Davis. I don't think anybody's safe. So we need to cherish tonight. The players need to cherish tonight because there is a world where this is their last Laker basketball game. And we know there's going to be some trades, so somebody's last game is today. That's what it really comes down to. The next game is on the 8th, and it would be after the deadline buzzer. So this is it. Somebody's done. D-Lo, somebody's done. Max, one of y'all ain't going to be here for the Nugget game, and that's just the reality of it. So I don't know what that means for chemistry tonight. I don't know what that means for performance tonight. But, if the Lakers are to make any moves at all, I'd imagine some player is going to be involved. Somebody. You know what I mean? It ain't going to just be us sending out picks. So the roster, this is going to be the last day we see the roster this way if Rob Pelinka is doing his job properly, because we do need to make some type of move. And so I would only expect that a move would be made after this basketball game, but you never know. Something could be happening right now. But the point is the deadline's on the 8th. And This is the game where we get a chance to raise people's trade value or to lower people's trade value. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. That's the main thing. Stay healthy and win the basketball game, Finish this road trip out strong. There's no guarantee you will be traded, even if you think you're going to be traded. So you might want to have some pride about winning. Is what I would tell every player on this team. And so, yeah, man. The Lakers are going to be wearing their yellows, of course, as we continue to be in this era where teams wear the opposite of what they should in various buildings. The Hornets are going to be wearing their city aqua blues, Buzz City aqua blues. And I think they'll have an alternate court to go with that. I'm not really sure. But hopefully we go in and take, Brandon Miller seriously. We got to defend this dude, man. The way that he's shooting the ball, the way that he's dunking on people, he's turning into his very own self. He is developing very fast. Into basically a superstar, man. Your quintessential Paul George type defense to offense, tall, long arms, shoot from behind the arc, lay the ball up really well, mid-range game. Brandon Miller don't really have too many weaknesses, man. And it's just a matter of time before he puts it all together, and I think we're starting to see the beginning of that. So if we don't take him seriously, he will have a great night. And Miles Bridges as well. The exact same thing. You just have to respect both of these guys on both sides of the floor from all three levels. And if you do that, you could probably beat this team because their team ain't very good. But those two, they are very good. And, of course, if LaMelo's out there, you can expect superstar numbers from him. Although he does tend to take some wacky shots, he can go, as we know. That won't be surprising anybody if LaMelo Ball has a superstar night. So, I respect their team. P.J. Washington is already mentioned. Also another player who's been on a tear. So it's not smart to walk into this thing with low energy. It ain't bright to overlook this team like we were overlooked by the Celtics. We saw how that was on the other side of it, and we enjoyed a nice victory. We need not let this team do that to us, especially since we are not the greatest basketball team. We're only one game over 500. And we need all the wins we can get going into the All-Star break. And so that's really what it comes down to. Guys got to have some pride tonight, as we did against the Knicks and the Celtics, and treat the Charlotte Hornets with the respect necessary to defeat them on their home court. And really, that's about as much as I have to say, man. Charlotte Hornets been losing a lot, man. I'm sure they're frustrated. They lost to us last time. And what I pride myself on being able to do is identify when a team has a special interest in beating my team. When we beat them and didn't really think too much of it, knocked them off and forgot that we did, you best believe the team that you knocked off ain't forget that. And they may want to come in with a certain level of vitriol toward you because of it, even though you think nothing of beating them. So this could be that. Expect their best punch, throw your best punch, and put this losing team in its place early, so we can get some rest for our stars and keep our guys fresh for whatever's next. So that is pretty much what I got to say. Early game, 4 o'clock, y'all. Be ready for it. BDF 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.